Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CDR Season 9 Round 4 here at Tier 2 at Netherlands. I'm your host this evening, King Luckman. And Toxa has retired from the session already. What's going on with him? As it looks like he did crash. But we will ride on board with Ninja for this opening outlap. For this opening flying lap, sorry. So obviously last round was at Abu Dhabi. Ashik took the win there, both in the sprint and in the feature. Gainful coming second and Bonneville coming third. So it'll be interesting to see if those guys can carry on their form here at the Netherlands. As Ninja a 110.8. I believe next is Kieran, I'm correct, he was a 110.3 on the mediums. Let's try and see who's next. I think it might be Ashik. Ashik goes a 110.2. Is next, it is mechanical, but he is invalidated. Bonneville will be next across the line. And that's a 110 flat. Let's see who else is going to be next. It's going to be Coltrim, followed by Hero Voice or Camimu. It was Camimu a 110.4, Coltrim a 110.7, Scottish Ninja a 112.7. Dylan, nice to see him back with us this evening. Guy that I raced with many times. He recently just rejoined, recently got the game, and he goes a 110.8. There he was in the chat talking about no pace, and he comes in with a 110.8 on the medium straight off the bat. Clay with a 118 flat, but he is 5.6 seconds under after sector 1. Clay currently 7.1 seconds, better off through 2 sectors. This could be a very good lap time from Clay. If he can hook sector 3 up. And that's a 110.4, puts himself P4 at the moment. He's trying to carry over that form from last week, where Clay finished P4. So just moving into the driver's standings for Tier 2 at the moment. Fairly tight throughout the field, as to be expected in 3 rounds. Bonneville currently leading the way with 56 points, Gainful with 53, Coltrim with 40, as well as Ashik, Mechanical 39. So it's fairly tight between all of them sort of guys. And in the constructors, obviously, McLaren at the moment are leading the way. Aston Martin struggling a little bit, which is unfortunately my team at the moment. Both guys are out for us this evening, so we do have reserves in, so we won't be scoring any points for Tier 2. So that's unfortunate for us, but we will be looking to bounce back over the next few weeks. So Mechanical will be next. He puts himself P2 on the mediums, a 1:10.1. Chip just approaching the penultimate corner. Here he comes round the final bend. He goes P7 at the moment, a 1:10.6. Simba's just started his lap. And it looks like Cavalis is also on a lap. So Cavalis does set a 1:10.6. See what Simba can do on the mediums. He sets a 1:11.5. So he will be looking to improve on that. Ihao Zhu is just started his first lap. As you saw, Gainful did retire. He does have a quali ban, I believe. So that wasn't us losing Gainful through a mistake. That was through his mistake, through the admin side of racing. As as Ihao Zhu loses it. And Era Voice is on his first flyer as well. Kev King jumped in there of a 1:10.5, didn't quite catch that. So Era sets a 1:10.7. As I believe Carl improved, puts himself P4, a 1:10.3. Scottish Ninja, I believe, improved also, a 1:10.7. as the other ninja is doing some grass cutting. So Warrior has just started a lap also. Kieran now coming out the pits as well to start an out lap on softs this time instead of the mediums. And Warrior Huntsman doesn't appear to be improving at the moment. So we'll see if that changes through sector 2. And he isn't improving. There's not much time left in the session. There is enough if he jumps back into the pits and jumps into the softs. But he does need to improve. He is in the drop zone at the moment. So a couple of the guys now on outlap. Simba on an outlap. Ihaozu, who did have that little spin on the mediums, is on an outlap. He's the only guy yet to set a time yet. So Kieran is on a lap also now on the soft tyres. Currently only 3/10 off pole, so let's see what he can do here. And already it's looking like a pole time. Provisional pole time at least in Q1. As he comes through that little twisty section. And he's 5/10 up. Here we go then, as he comes round the last two fast right-handers. Onto now the back straight. The pit straight, sorry. And he does set a provisional pole time of a 1:09.8 here in Q1. So Simba is currently 7/10 better off, and he is coming down the pit straight. And he goes 9/10 better. He puts himself P9 currently. So we'll see if that's good enough for him to go through. I would imagine it could possibly be. I'm not too sure. It's quite tight here in in tier 2 tonight. Ehao now coming around the penultimate corner and onto the pit straight. As Ehao now sets provisional pole time of a 1:09.5. So Camus appears to be on a lap, so we'll see what his sector 2 is. He's 11 seconds over. As Bonnie Val has retired from the session in the pits, so has Mechanical and Clay Mule. I'm going to give up on trying to say his name. I'm just going to call him Clay because I butcher it every time. As Scottish puts himself P11 of 1:10.5, but the other guys are now on laps as well and out laps. Paranoid is up. Is better off on his time as well, so we'll see what happens if he can keep that going. Puts himself P7 of 1:10.4. Simba is on a lap. Warrior's on a lap as well. He's 1.6 over. Dylan is on a lap. He's only about a tenth up at the moment. Era also on a lap. And he's about 2 tenths up. As Simba puts himself P3, a 110 flat for him. That's a really good time from him on 3 lap old tyres. So let's see what Era can do. He puts himself P8, closely followed by, I didn't see who jumped up there. Oh, Dylan puts himself P7. Great time from Dylan there, 110.3. Cavalis now also on a lap. Huntsman, this is his final opportunity, but he's got no fuel, it appears. So we'll see what he does through the first sector. Cavalis is marginally up as well. We'll see what these two guys can do, and Warrior isn't going to improve. So we'll see if Cavalis does. Cavalis is improving. Cavalis does improve, puts himself P11, a 110.4. So we are going to be losing Scottish Ninja, Chip Hazard, and Warrior Huntsman from Q1 here that actually participated. And we lost Gainful and Antoxa through a ban and a DNF respectively. So Ehau, good enough lap time there from him, puts himself P1 in this Q1 session. Just jump on board with the comments. Xenos, I don't know who that is. Have a bit more enthusiasm, lad. I do actually try, mate. This is just how I generally speak. Like, everyone says exactly the same thing, so don't worry. I do apologise. I'm trying my best. Clay says, who retired Ego? I don't understand what you meant there, bud. It's mull, as in mulled wine, not... Yeah, I'm just going to call you Clay. And Cammy says, don't worry, Clay. Everyone calls me Cammy Moo like a cow for some reason. It's Mo, like the guy from Simpsons. Alright, Cammy Moo. You're the one guy I'll continue to stop calling by the correct name. That's fine. I'm stupid. So let's see who's going to be the first one on a lap. It is going to be Bonneville. Good evening, Terriers. Bottle job here. That is correct. So let's see what sort of time Bonneville can set here in Q2. So Bonnie set a 109.9, Mechanical set a 109.5, good lap time from him. Ninja a 109.9 also. Carl Trim a 110.2. Kev King will be next, and he sets a 110.1. There's a few guys on outlaps at the moment. Piers Clay is going to be... No, it'll be Cavalis to set a time next. And I haven't had any update on the weather, so I'm going to presume we have it dry throughout. If someone could let me know in the comments, that would be fantastic. Give the people what they want, and that is a wet race. It's Cavalis a 110.3. Clay goes a 110.8. As Ehal is on a lap, so is Kieran. Kieran will be next. And he sets a 109.5. Great lap time from him. Simba is coming around the final corner as we speak. And he sets a 110.8 on the mediums. Paranoid is going to be next. And he sets a 111.8. Ehal comes down the pit straight, crosses the line. He sets a 110.2 on the mediums. Cammy Moo is on an outlap. So we'll stay on board with Cammy, as he is going to be the next 2 set of time. We've lost Ashik as well. I'm not too sure why that is, but yeah, anyway. So Cammy sets a 1:10.3, puts himself P9 currently. Era Voice is on a lap. Carl looks like he's on a lap as well. So we'll see what sort of time Carl's on after this first sector. He's marginally better off through sector 1. Jump on board, back on board with Era, and see what happens with him. As Era's decided to abandon. Carl is still only marginally better off through 2 sectors. He hasn't improved as much as what he'd probably have hoped. Such a tightly packed field here in Tier 2 this evening. Let's see if Era is going to go for it again. Looks like he is. Carl just peeling off into the pits. So Era currently 2 seconds better off through sector 1. Only 17 seconds better off through 2 sectors. So we'll see what he can do through the last corner. As he has a McLaren giving him a little bit of a tow down the straight. He sets a 1:10.2. As I hope Mechanical's comment of nice and comfy in P2 comes back to haunt him. And it's alright being quick in qualifying, Cole, but you got to do it in the race as well. I know you won the other week, but that's not the point. As Ehal is a 10th up at the moment. Simba jumps up to P3 of 109.8. As Ehal puts himself P3 at the moment of 109.6. As Dylan is on his first lap. Let's see what Dylan can do coming out the last two corners. Now down the pit straight. And he sets a 110.4. It's not good enough at the moment. He will need to improve further to go through. Kev King currently 0.3 better off through the first sector. Clay is slightly over through his first sector. Kev King still improving, 4.5 temps. Let's see what he can do. Clay looks like has backed off. Kev puts it on pole, a 109.4. So Paranoid is on a lap. Dylan isn't. It looks like Claire's going to start another lap. Paranoid currently 0.3 better off through the first sector. Clay doesn't appear to be improving either. Mechanical and Bonneville retiring in the pits, so we'll see if that comes back to haunt them or not. Don't think it may for Colin. We'll see about Bonnie. Paranoid goes a second quicker, but it's still not good enough to get him out of the drop zone, and that's a 110.7. Era is on a lap. They're all on a lap from P8 down to P11. With Cavalis being the start of this train, he's a 10.5 up. Didn't give me Era's first lap. Cavalis. Is improving, still a 10th up. And Carl is improving. Cammy is slightly improving as well, so Era Voice could be the one in danger here. Cavalis goes P8 a 110.2. Era Voice a 110.1. Carl Trim a 110.2. Cammy is 0.3 better off as well. He goes P5, 109.7. That's a great lap time from him. And Clay isn't improving as well. So there we go then. Kev King takes takes pole in Q2 with a 109.4. Ashik not setting the time there, so we will be losing Carl Trim, Dylan, Clay, Paranoid and Ashik. As after I quickly grab the results, I will just quickly go and grab a quick beverage. Nope. As I'm chucking heat as well, I do apologise. So just confirmation then, Kev taking pole there of a 109.4, closely followed by Kieran a 109.5, and Colin all within a tenth of 109.5. Just confirmation then we will be losing Ashik, Paranoid, Clay, Dylan and Carl. As I'll just go and grab a beverage before the race start. So it'll be interesting to see who takes pole. Obviously Kieran, Colin, Simba you could chuck into the mix there, all looking quite quick. Ehal, Kev. So that's quite a mixture of people that could take pole here in Q3. So it will be... Who's going to be first out? Bonneville is first out on track. So here we go then. Bonneville is going to take us on an onboard of Zandvoort. So Bonneville there are 109.2, Mechanical 109.3, Kieran a 109.7, so he will be definitely looking to improve on that. Kev a 109.8. I think it's Ehal that will be next to set a time. And Ehal sets a 109.3. Simba a 110 flat. Ninja jumps in there over 109.8. As Era Voice is on an outlap, so we'll see what he can do as well. So yeah, all these guys don't look to be improving. That's first thought. So see what Era Voice can do. See if he can take a surprise pole. era, just approaching the penultimate corner as we speak. New sets are 110.5. Cavaliers will be next. Let's see what Cavaliers can do. So Cavaliers sets a 109.8. As Mechanical very kindly points out that Kev and Ninja set exactly the same time, which is, yeah, quite rare to be fair. Cheers for that, Colin. When you do comms and I drive, you don't seem to be doing much at the moment. I think you've only set 3 laps. Simba currently a 10th, better off through sector 1. As Simba goes 2 temps better, puts himself P5 currently. Ninja currently on an outlap, so we'll see what he can do. So Ninja just abandons that lap then. Let's see what Kieran can do and see if he can stick it on pole. So Kieran just coming through sector 2 now. Let's see what he can do. And he's 4 tenths better off at the moment. He is challenging for pole. Ehal isn't at the moment. And he's 6 at P2 of 109.2. It's a great lap time from him. Ehal still isn't improving. He is marginally. And Ehal goes pole of 108.9. It's a great lap time from him. Bonneville is on a lap and so is Mechanical. Mechanical then stays P4. Bonneville stays P2. Kev not improving. I believe that may be. Where is he? No, he's not improving. Simba's not either. So that appears to be the end of Q3 then. Ehal taking P1, Bonneville P2, Kieran P3, Mechanical P4, Simba P5, Kev King P6, Cami P7, Ninja P8, Cavalist P9, and Era Voice taking P10. I will just be back in a minute. I'm just going to go and grab a beverage. as I'm back. So we'll see what's cracking with the tyres with everyone. So Clay and Untox opting for the softs. Ashik, Era Voice, Cavalis, Ninja and Kev King opting for the hards, everyone else for the mediums. Saying pit stop strategies, medium hard to pit lap 17 onwards. As everyone else is just forming up for the start. Five red lights are out and away we go, as Ehal looks to have got a decent start. Kieran trying to take it around the outside of Bonnieval, looks to have got the position. Mechanical now having a little look up the inside of Bonnieval as well. They're jostling for position here, and Mechanical comes better off. Cammy now having a little look as well, as someone has had a little incident. As Claire's lost his front wing, which brings out the VSC after half a lap. Everyone else appears to have got away okay. Decent start there for Ehal. Safety car is still out. And we are back racing again, as Clay now jumps into the pits, as someone has gone wide. Oh, there's a bit of carnage there between Cammy and I'm not sure who else, and that is causing all sorts of problems. Era Voice gets taken out, Dylan gets caught up. Paranoid now gets a 5-second penalty for a collision. And doesn't have a wing. And that brings out the safety car. I'm very, very shocked though by the amount of contact that just happened, that we still have 20 drivers left in this race. Very fortunate, but I'm not too sure what happened. It looked as though someone went wide on the gravel trap and it was all just sort of a free-for-all going through sector 1. Obviously quite a tight track as it is. Oh, as Kieran almost rear ends out. As we have loads of people in the pits now. Bonnieval, wing change. Kev King, wing change. Paranoid, wing change. Loads of people with wing changes. And Toxar It's 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane. Let's see what the penalty situation is then. Yeah, so on top 5 seconds. Paranoid just served his 5 seconds. It's a shame there for both the Ferrari boys. So hopefully they can catch back up and we'll have a bit of racing the next lap. Someone disconnect? We are just waiting for the rest of the guys, the back runners, to catch back up after their pit stops under the safety car. So hopefully the safety car will come in this lap. Can't see why it won't. Everyone is bunched up together now. There you go then, safety car in this lap message has just appeared. So Ehal will wait for the safety car to get into the pits as Ninja has picked up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Simba, which is just not needed under a safety car. Simba's back in the pack up quite nicely. His safety car is now in the pit lane. So here we go then. Ehal, sorry, gets us away. As Bonneville seems to have made the move on Warrior. As there's quite a lot of battling going on. Carltrin makes a move past Cammy. Cavalis is now getting involved as well. Sheik trying to find a way past Scottish. Clay making a move past Warrior. I'd imagine that his teammate is going to try and do the same thing. As that brings out another safety car and Toxa has lost it. 3 safety cars now in 5 laps. as we are going to get another lap behind the safety car, it appears. Safety car in this lap message has just appeared. So hopefully now we can have some sort of racing. Let's turn the volume down there. So E-Hell back in the backup once again. And he decides to leave it late, and off we go then, as we got all sorts of battles going on down the pack. Simba and Cavalis now having a scrap. Cammy Moo getting the better of Cavalis, not quite. This race at the moment, although we've had 8 laps, it says we haven't, as there's Carl going off the track. He's still struggling to get back on, and he's back on now. That's unfortunate for him. Although it says we've had 8 laps, we haven't really had 8 laps of racing. So we haven't really had much time to settle into this race, so I'm hoping people can start settling in. Give us a half decent race. So Clay pushing Ashik. Looks for a move into turn 1. Almost gets it done, can't quite. As Dylan has retired. Chip, it appears Chip, Dylan and Paranoid have all had a crash. And we've now had 4 safety cars in 9 laps. This is actually painful to watch and to try and commentate on. It's Paranoid decides to pit. And other than that, not much else to commentate on, unfortunately. As we have a couple of comments. Mechanical, Kevin Injure on the same time, yeah, if only I need 3 laps, why do more? What funeral? F1 Fanatic 2018. Centre phone. Someone could point me in the direction as to why F1 Fanatic sent a phone. That would be great. Strange person. As the safety car is in this lap. So we'll see what sort of getaway he has on this restart. He's good enough for it. Especially with the amount of practice he's had this evening. Yeah, gets away a little bit earlier this time. That's Clay speeding in the pit lane. Cavaliers and Cammy having a scrap. Ashik looking to get involved in this as well. So is now Bonneville. So Gainful looking to make a move on Kev and appears to have got it done. Although Kev is fighting it and just gives up in the end. Knows there's not much point in battling that. Kieran takes fastest lap there. Scottish having a go on Cavalis. Gets the move done up the inside. So Sheik also trying to get involved again. Having a little look at Cavalis. As he loses the rear end on the exit curb. And that sent him round. He's just pushing a little bit too hard. Took it a little bit too wide. And that is the result, unfortunately. As Scottish Ninja has had a collision with the wall. It's unfortunate for him. He's going to need a wing change after that. So now let's see what's going on out front now that we've sort of calmed down on the chaos a little bit. As we've now lost Warrior as well on the penultimate corner, which is fortunately not brought out any more safety cars. So Ehal is pushing. Top 4 covered by less than 2 seconds. And then there's a bit of a gap back to Cami. And then a back gap again back to Cavalis, where he's then got quite a few cars behind him, a bit of a train forming as Bonneville looking to carve his way through. As Kieran looks up the inside, can't quite get it done, and that might open the door for Colin. Not quite, but that is opening the door for Simba to have a look at Colin. Kev King appears to be pushing Gameful through as well. Bonneville has managed to reel in Cami, and he's pushing hard. Mechanical appears to have lost DRS for the moment from the front two. That might be quite key to Kieran's strategy here if he can now start to recharge his DRS. Mechanical is low on battery. Simba has half a battery. So Bonnie has made it past Camimo as well. I missed that. He's not really touched his battery either. This is great driving from him. We'll see if he can catch the leading 4. He is about 2.2 seconds away at the moment, but catching every lap. Obviously he does have slightly fresher tyres at the moment and the more durable tyre. Mechanical back in Kieran's DRS. Bonnie is catching rapidly. He's now only 1.8 seconds behind the leading 4. Is Kieran going to think about a move into this corner? He goes around the outside. Can't get it done. And this is going to start losing time to Bonnie behind, who is now still catching hand over fist. Simba just clutching onto the DRS of Mechanical. Bonnie's still gaining. He's taken about 1.5 seconds out over 2 laps. So this could get interesting. Obviously Bonnie has stopped already. So whether he can take them tyres to the end or not, I'm very doubtful of, but we will see what happens. Gameful and Cammy having a little scrap. Gameful appears to have got the move done. And that's going to open the door to Kev on Cammy. As we've got someone else trying to make a move. It looks like Carl was trying to make a move. Can't get it done. So let's jump back on board. So the leading 4 are now keeping Bonneville at a reasonably stable gap. Kieran still with 62% battery. Simba with 70, so that's good from them too. Obviously, Bonnie with 81 at the moment. So we'll see what happens between these lot. As Kieran goes round the outside of Ehal. Can he get it done this time? It looks like he has. He has indeed. So Mechanical has pulled the trigger early. So's Cammy. So we'll see what the undercut does for Mechanical. Obviously, all them top 4 guys were all within about 1.5 seconds of each other from first to fourth. Bonnie is now catching and is almost on the back of Simba's DRS. Simba just teetering. I don't think he's going to get DRS. He doesn't. So Kieran looks up the Ehal, looks up the inside of Kieran. Can't get it done. That looked like a little bit of a desperate move there. I'm not going to lie. These two, obviously teammates, don't want to be fighting that hard. So Ehal jumps in, Simba jumps in as well. It's created a little bit of a gap for Kieran of 2.4 seconds. So Kev King also pulling the trigger, jumping out. So we'll see where Mechanical jumps out in this. He is coming down the pit straight as the others are just leaving the pit exit. Mechanical jumps him. Mechanical has jumped Ehal and Simba and has quite a healthy gap as well. So that's worked out really well for Mechanical. Is Kieran's tyre offset gonna be an advantage or not? Depending on how much fighting these guys can do, if Ehal can get to the back of Mechanical, but we'll see as Mechanical is all over the back of Ashik, looks down the inside, almost gets his nose cut off. So Kieran still going for more laps. He hasn't come in yet. Mechanical up the inside of Ashik, gets it done. Cavalis in the pit currently, goes for new mediums. So we'll see what Mechanical can do. Bonneville isn't really making any inroads on Kieran now. Sort of just neutralised at 2.4. So Ehal will be looking to push on as quickly as possible. He has a 20 lap old hard runner in front of him of Ashik. So he'll be looking to clear him fairly quickly along with Simba. As Kieran pits then, he is going to come out quite a way back, I'd imagine, filtering between Simba and Clay. As Silent Ninja picks up 5 seconds speed in the pit lane. It's Mechanical sets the fastest lap of the race then, as I'm correct, yeah, Kieran slots in just behind Simba, and that's actually worked out quite well for Kieran. He's not as far back from Simba and Ehal as first expected, but he has lost out quite massively to Colin. But then again, he does have 3 lap fresher tyres. So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, Bonneville's tyres can't make the full race distance, I wouldn't imagine, so he will need to pit again at some point. And I'd probably say, with everyone stuck behind Ashik, now is the best time. As Paranoid picks up 5 seconds speed in the pit lane. So Ehal clears Ashik. Simba now needs to do this as quickly as possible and not let Ehal start to get away. As is now happening, as we have a yellow flag in sector 1. Silent Ninja has had a bit of an incident, lost his wing. It's unfortunate for him. Simba looks for the move up the inside of Ashik, and that's opened the door now for Kieran and Simba. Can't get it done, but Ashik is like a mobile chicane at the moment. But he is well within his rights. He is not a back marker. But that has now left Ehal with a 1.5 second gap from the back of Ashik, and he only passed him half a lap ago. Here we go then. Kieran and Simba both looking to make a move. Kieran up the inside of Ashik. Gets it done. As Ashik has a little bit of a wobble there. So let's see what happens if Ehal, Simba and Kieran come together again. Are they going to play it tactically and try and cruise up to the back of Colin, or are they going to try and lose time to each other by fighting? Obviously not too much happening in this race so far, apart from this little battle for what I would class as a net podium positions. Although obviously Gainful, Carl can go the distance on their tyres if they needed to, I'd imagine. Mechanical is all over the back of Carl now. He has caught him quite rapidly. I didn't quite see what happened there, but Mechanical lost quite a bit of time. But this is working into Ehal, Kieran and Simba's game plan. Mechanical is losing a massive chunk of time having this much battle going on with Carl. And Mechanical has had to absolutely drain his battery to make it happen. So Kieran is in Ehal's DRS. Ehal almost in Carl's DRS. So we'll see how this one plays out. They need to clear Carl as soon as possible. Kieran might lose DRS here. Let's see if he got it. He didn't. He lost the DRS to Ehal. So let's see if Ehal can make the move immediately into turn one. He's looking around the outside. He's brave. He's making it stick. But can't turn the outside to the inside for the next corner. And that's helped Kieran get back into the DRS, but it's now losing more time to Mechanical, who is catching game for a rapid amount of rate of knots. Bonneville just chilling out there at the moment, but obviously his tyres will start to head towards puncture territory the later we go into this race. And I'd be very surprised if they're not close to it now. So here we go then, Ehal on Carl, gets it done. Kieran will be now looking for the move as well. Here we go then. Kieran looking for the outside and tries to make it stick, but it's not going to work. I'm not sure if there's a little bit of contact there. Mechanical only now 1.5 seconds away from the back of Gameful, as we have a problem into turn one. Not sure what that was about. Kieran's still struggling to get past Carl, and this is letting Ehal create a bit of a gap for himself now. Simba is just chilling now with almost full battery. So here we go then, Kieran down into turn one. Simba thinking about it. Does go down the inside of Carl. Has the better traction. The move is now done by Simba as well. Mechanical is teetering on the DRS of Gameful. As Mechanical can't quite get back into that DRS just yet. The field's starting to spread out again now. Although I'd imagine that the end of this race isn't going to be as straightforward as it now seems. Bonneville's tyres must be absolutely screaming. But he does have a healthy 8.9 second lead at the moment, as it looks as though Ninja had a bit of an incident. So here we go then. Mechanical. Still just teetering on Gameful's DRS. And he's in it. So let's see how much of a fight Gameful is going to put up once Mechanical does try and make the move. Bonneville just stretching his lead. It's now at 9.4 seconds. He's still with pretty much a full tank of battery. As Gameful has had an incident. And he is in the wall. So Mechanical has 10.5 seconds left to make in 5 laps. So we'll see if he can do it. It's about just over 2 seconds a lap. With not much battery, and Bonneville has 3/4 of a tank of battery. As I say, I can't imagine Bonneville's tyres being very healthy whatsoever. By the end of this race, if he can take it to the end, he would have done, 33 laps almost on them tyres. As Gameful picks up 5 seconds speed in the pits. Kieran still can't find his way past Ehal. Simba still with a decent amount of battery. These two being Ehal and Kieran being below 20% ERS, that is going to harm them on the straights. So I'd imagine this could be easy pickings for Simba if he plays his cards right. Mechanical has taken about a second out, and that is not going to more than it. Well, yeah, about a second. So I don't think it's going to be enough at this point. Needs to be taken more time out. Mechanical still pushing hard. Bonneville still with 80% ERS. But Mechanical is catching. Just misses out of DRS from the back marker. As Ninja gets out of the way. Good racing etiquette from Ninja there. Wouldn't expect anything less from him. Mechanical has 3 laps to make up 8 seconds. And Ehal is almost within Mechanical's DRS. So as long as there's no punches for Bonneville, and he keeps on track, this could be one of, if not the best race wins I've ever seen. See how draining the battery even though he's got 0%. Shows how much he wants this P3. As I say, I feel like Simba, if he can play his cards right with triple the amount of battery these two have got, then it could be easy pickings for him. Bonnie's still sitting in 6 seconds, so if Mechanical can make up 6 seconds in one lap, this is the time to do it. Needs to be now, Mechanical. And he now has Kieran, Ehal and Simba all in his DRS, so this could be interesting. Here we go then. It's not going to be enough, it don't look like, unless there is a late puncher from Bonnie. He has taken these 34 laps and still has 90% ERS. Incredible drive. Here we go then. How that is a silly dive from the what I've just dumped on with. That looked very silly. That then gives the podium position to Kieran as it stands. But yeah, Bonnie Val taking P1 then. What a great drive from him. 34 laps on them tyres. It's just incredible. Mechanical P2. Kieran P3. Simba P4. Kev King P5. Ehal finishes up P6 after a late collision with Mechanical. We'll see what happens in the stewards room about that one. Carl Trim P7, Cavalis P8, Ashik P9, Cami Moo comes home in P10. As it's telling me that Kev King has retired from this, did not finish. Don't know how that works out, but yeah, Cami Moo P9, or P10 I think it was. So, just confirmation then. Bonnie Val taking P1, Mechanical P2, Kieran P3, Simba P4, Ehal Zoo P5, Coltrane P6, Cavalis P7, Ashik P8, Cami P9, Chip P10, Clay P11, Paranoid P12, Era Voice P13, Gayful P14, Scottish Ninja P15, Kev King P16, but I think that may change because he definitely crossed the line. And Silent Ninja P17 with Huntsman, Dylan and Antoxa not finishing the race. So we will just get Bonnieval, Mechanical and Kieran into the chat. I've actually got to speak to Colin this evening. Brilliant. Mechanical, Kieran. So we'll get them guys added in, see what happens. As Kieran has joined us.
Yeah, let me double check my party settings and see if I can be heard.
Yes, please. As we have all of our podium sitters in the lobby at the moment. Oh, Jesus.
I just have one question. Is Bonneval here?
Correct.
How the fuck did you win that race?
Kieran,
I don't know what you did on lap 2 at turn 1. What did you do on lap 2 turn 1? Because I wouldn't have done that if you hadn't taken turn 1 like an idiot.
I went to go around my teammate, I think, and just ended up having to take a wider line. Like 36 laps ago is a... Oh yeah. That's fine, it's Colin. Voice chat, if you go into the party and then go to voice chat settings, it should say share voice allow. Yeah, I only went straight in myself. So, alright, I can do this while having a post-race cigarette, so... Whew.
Right.
There it is. Sorted.
So, let's talk to Kieran first. Kieran obviously showed some good pace through qualifying. Whoever has me in the background, please turn me down.
Not me.
Not me.
I've just turned my own headset down, so that might help.
Lovely stuff.
There we go.
But yeah, it showed some good pace during qualifying. Talk us through your race from your perspective.
So basically it started like this time last week with about 200 laps of TT. And yeah, over the course of the week just put in about 10 to 15 hours of actual race practice. Then qualified right behind my teammate, which wasn't ideal, but we knew if we went into turn 1 and 2, then at least one of us could defend from the rest of the pack and let the other one get away. It didn't quite work out like that because very even on pace. I think we were separated by less than a second the entire race, even after the pit stops, where on the same strat, so I opted to go a couple of laps deeper, just to make sure that there was no double stacking in the pit stop, and then got very fortunate on the last lap. I would have taken 4th and him to secure P3 for the constructors. But yeah, he just had an unfortunate moment with Colin, put himself round and fortunately regained it to 5th, but would have preferred the P3 and P4 as a unit rather than P3 and P5. But yeah, Colin got lucky the fact that he undercut E-Hail in the pit and then just got fresh air for a couple of laps.
I was fed up to death of being sat behind him, mate.
You were sat behind
I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah, like I was just sat behind you two, and I'm like, I am fed up of these McLarens. It's undercut or die.
Yeah, it was a great little battle between the three of us because it was so tactical that E-Hail had enough straight line speed in order to hold me off on DRS, but that DRS was enough for me to keep Colin off. And then Bonneville was just driving around the back somewhere at one point. And the next thing I know, that I come out the pits and I'm like 10th. And Bonneville was, I think, already in the lead. And I'm looking at it going, how have you managed this? But congratulations to the other two. Colin, you don't deserve P2, and I'm glad Ashik took the fastest lap.
I'm not worried about the fastest lap, I just wanted good points.
So, yep, thank you for your input, Kieran. Much appreciated.
Abusive as always.
Appreciated. We'll move on to Colin now. Obviously, you must have thought you was in a really good position with Bonneville being on about 15, 16 laps. Older tyres than you at the time. Talk us through it.
I said to him after I came out of the pits, I'm like, I'm on fresh tyres, I am catching, but then I got held up by people behind. Cole was particularly difficult to pass, and so was Gainful, which was just allowing him to extend that lead. I don't even know how he kept those tyres going. He said to me after the race, 75% pretty much all round. How we
could have just gotten a puncture, that would have helped.
Like, that's what I was hoping for the last couple of laps. I'm like, get a puncture, I'll have you.
Yes, I think at one point it worked out you needed to gain about 2.1 seconds, I think it was.
Yeah.
And at one point you were gaining, and then all of a sudden it just dropped.
Yeah, the thing is, we found in practice, and Kieran will back this up, is you can push and push and push, and then you get to about 15% to 20% on the hard tyres, and you start losing time. Not significantly, but bit by bit by bit, you do start to lose time. And that's what was making it difficult. And I found that maybe my rears were getting a little warm because I slid. I know you caught it once or twice. The tail stepping out on me, especially at the double right-hander, the second one of those, it was stepping slightly. And that's where E-Hail was gaining a lot of time on me.
I'm not sure if you noticed at one point, I think it was like lap 31 or 32, both me and E-Hail went off at the exact same corner, right behind each other.
I did notice that you two had gone and dropped back by around about a second or so.
Yeah, it was through those double right-handers.
We both just after I passed Carl, I'm like, damn, the 2.2 behind, I need to push now, I'm clear of Carl and hope he can hold them all. And then you drop back about a second, and I was like, what did those two just do? Like, I had no idea what you'd done, because you were still in the same position, so... But no...
Yeah, we both went off at the double right-handers.
It was unfortunate for E-Hail, but, you know, it happens in racing, unfortunately. I'm just glad to have scored some good points, especially with all the practice. Like Kieran said, we've put a lot of time and a lot of hours into practicing for the track to try and improve ourselves. And as you can tell, it's paying off because I'm back on the podium again and Kieran's up here with me now. So
first podium in, I think, 3 seasons.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Just don't make a habit of it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to either of you two for the rest of the season, so let's not make
That's
a
a fairly good
occurrence.
point. I heard what you said on the stream about having to speak to me again. When I won at Austria, you was happy to speak to me and you wanted to speak to me again, and now this? Unacceptable.
Yeah,
it's twice in a season.
Yes,
it's twice in a season.
Yeah, he was being nice. He thought it was a one-off and I'd never pull it off again.
Correct.
And to be fair, you were nearly right, because I thought on those last couple of laps, both McLarens were going to have me, and they didn't, thankfully.
We tried.
I know you did. I could see I was pushing.
If E-Hail had let me through a couple of laps earlier,
you would have
I would have gotten you at least, and I would have backed you into him. I would have tried to go after Bonneville. I would have deliberately backed you into him.
I looked at it on lap 35, and I went, right, I'm nearly at the end of this lap. If I can hold E-Hail off into this turn 1, that's it. Game over. I'm taking this P2. I didn't quite expect the little jump he gave me on the right side into the chicane, but, you know, it happened. So, yeah, I'm just sweaty and glad to be finished.
I'm still at my back door with the back door wide open, just enjoying the cold breeze that's coming in there.
I bet you are.
That's on how warm I am.
How about we shut up and let Luckman speak to Bonnie?
Yeah, it was a really good performance from you both, Kieran and Mechanical, but there is a man I think we all want to hear from, and that is Mr. Bonneville.
Not really, I've heard from him all race.
Bonnie,
Yep.
how are you, buddy? What a great race that was.
Surprised, intrigued, and wondering how the hell that happened.
So
Realistically,
talk us through it.
qualifying wasn't too bad. Q1 was fair enough. It got a little bit hairy in Q2. I generally thought that I was probably going to have to start 11th at best, but getting through on one set, well, getting through 2 sessions on one tyre was probably the better option, which left me 2 sets for Q3. Butchered the first run on the first detection zone on the exit, and then the second run, I don't think it would have been good enough for pole. It would have probably been a 9-1 or a 9 flat. But again, I was just too cautious in certain corners. But starting P2, there's a lot of room to make a place on EL. I wanted to take it cautiously, and my objective was, as long as I finished ahead of Gameful, or if he finishes even a place ahead of me, I'll take that. But I was probably a bit too cautious on the race start, having Kieran and then Mechanical come past, and then Cammy as well. That didn't help matters. But and then lap 2, Kieran I think just took turn 1 a bit too tight. I couldn't really see properly. That backed Mechanical into me. I didn't have time to react, and then Cammy went off on the exit, so I had to avoid him, which I think involved a few cars
I always
with
take
each
turn
other.
1 that tight here. It's just my lane through it.
I just avoid the curb at turn 1, to be honest. I have PTSD from 21 and 22.
Just get close to it, but not too close, and you're quick enough.
So yeah, I think
I
the
found
safety
anyway,
car.
personal line.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And then the safety car came out, and the plan was to do hards and then basically hope for another safety car in the pit window. So then I could go, if it was like lap 20, 22, go into a fresh set of mediums. If it was like lap 29, lap 30, go for a fresh set of softs that I saved. That never happened, so I decided tyre wear's 3% a lap. This is going to be cutting it very close. And then when Mechanical told me that, you know, it's 70% is puncture territory, and we're like 3 or 4 laps away from the end, and I've just ticked over into 70. It's like, oh, well, this is where the fun begins. And I was hoping Carl would have held up Mechanical and Kieran for a little bit longer, but my lap times were consistent, and then once Mechanical got past Ehel and Gameful as well, it was a case of don't get baited into the fact that he's quicker than me, just keep off the curbs and you'll be fine. And then when it was like lap 35, I think the gap was like 5.5, 6 seconds. I was like, right, as long as I don't lose 3.5 seconds a lap, I should be okay. And then coming off the final corner on the last lap, it was just like, finally. I don't know how the hell I did it, but
Everyone has a bit of luck sometimes.
true. But you know, it was
I tell you what,
all
every time-
planned. It was all planned.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, every time we've ever experienced anyone having a puncture, it's always sort of 70 to 80 ballpark. That's kind of the norm. You might get 1 or 2 that will go higher than that, or 1 or 2 that come earlier, but the majority I've personally seen has been 70 to 80.
That all I can say on that, on the longevity of those tyres was, did you steal Kane Lowry's grip pack? Because that was a Kane Lowry stint.
That absolutely was a Kane stint.
Yeah.
That
was better than a Kane stint.
I knew that the Cubs were particularly aggressive here. That you can't really abuse them that much. So as long as I stayed away from them, it was okay. I know on the exit of the first kind of banked section, even in fourth, I was still wheel spinning, so I had to upshift even before the lights came on. into fifth, and that lost me speed and time, but it saved tyre wet just a little bit.
Well, to be honest, I was very surprised you managed to go as long as you did, but what a great drive that was, Bonneville. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. I'm generally surprised as well, but looking forward to China either way.
Yep, definitely. So that will be the end of this evening's stream. Please join us on Sunday at 8 o'clock for Tier 3 at the Netherlands. And if not, join us next week at 8:30, same day, Friday, for Tier 2 or Tier 1 China. This is Luckman, over and out.